What if I told you that a single ordinary step off your heavy living room rug, or simply trying to get up from your favorite leather recliner, could send you crashing directly to the emergency room, changing your independence forever? That is not meant to scare you, but to wake you up. Most seniors over 70 focus entirely on standing balance exercises, yet the real solution requires zero standing at all. The fix takes less than 2 minutes a day, right from the safety of your own bed, before you even walk to the mailbox. We are going to deep dive into one specific, highly critical hip exercise that targets fall prevention right from your mattress, why it works beautifully when standing balance training completely fails, and exactly how to practice it safely without getting up. Before we begin, if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, I strongly recommend you hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the bell notification. That simple step ensures you will never miss another health breakthrough engineered specifically for your Hugh-tree years. If you find this guidance helpful today, please type the number 1 in the comment section below. If you feel like I could explain this better or address your personal physical struggles differently, type 0. I read every single response and use your direct feedback to make these health guides far more practical for your everyday life. Now, let me ask you a very honest question about your daily routine. When you think about working on your stability to protect yourself, what do you usually do? You probably force yourself to stand on one foot next to the kitchen counter. Maybe you wobble back and forth for 10 or 15 seconds, white-knuckle the countertop, feel your anxiety spike, and quickly sit back down in frustration. Sound familiar? Here is the absolute truth regarding that approach. Forcing your body to balance on a hard floor while dealing with stiff joints actually increases your immediate risk of a dangerous slip. This is exactly why the clinical team at the Mayo Clinic focuses so heavily on the fundamental mechanics of the lying bridge exercise. Their medical guidance proves that working your lower body while lying completely flat on your back is the absolute safest way to stabilize your core and strengthen your deep hip muscles without putting a single ounce of dangerous pressure on an aching spine. It completely eliminates the fear of falling during your practice. Many seniors living in quiet suburbs across America are forced to manage their physical health completely alone because their adult children live hundreds of miles away in different states. If you are managing your health independently, trying to force yourself through complex standing gym routines is simply not a safe option. You need a medical-grade solution that respects your physical limitations while delivering maximum physical safety. By performing this targeted movement entirely within the perimeter of your bed, you build a protective shield around your joints before your feet even touch the carpet. If you are ready to master this safe technique on your iPad or computer right now, let us move directly into the precise mechanical reason why your hips hold the absolute key to your structural independence. To truly understand why your hips dictate your structural safety, we must look at how your lower skeletal frame reacts during an unexpected stumble. When your foot clips an uneven transition, your hands and arms instinctively reach out to grab the air. You try to throw your upper body backward, hoping your knees will buckle and absorb the violent momentum. But here is the critical mistake in that thought process. Your hands cannot grip a solid surface when you are in free fall, and your knees cannot stabilize a torso that has already shifted too far past its center of gravity. Protection does not come from your upper limbs. Protection comes entirely from your lower pelvis. Think of your structural anatomy like a vehicle traveling down a steep mountain pass. Your feet are simply the tires spinning on the pavement, and your knees act like the basic steering column. But your deep glutes and hip joints? They serve as the heavy-duty brake pads and the vehicle shock absorbers. Now, what happens if you drive a vintage Ford car with a pair of rusted-out shock absorbers down a jagged hill? The very moment you hit a deep pothole, the entire suspension collapses beneath the frame, sending the car sliding into a ditch. That is exactly what happens inside a senior body when the lateral stabilizing muscles surrounding the pelvis waste away from years of quiet neglect. Your hips become like those rusted-out shock absorbers. When you are walking across a slick kitchen floor and your foot slides an inch to the side, your nervous system flips the emergency switch. It frantically commands your lower half to correct the tilt. But if the surrounding glute muscles are severely weakened, the command encounters a broken circuit. The pelvic floor fails to shift, your core stability completely vanishes, and your entire upper body collapses sideways toward the hard ground before your brain even registers the emergency. The clinical teams at Mayo Clinic emphasize that your structural core and hip complex are completely interdependent. You cannot have a stable upper body if the foundational pelvis underneath is constantly shifting like soft sand. Most traditional balance routines completely ignore this dual locking mechanism. They train you to stand perfectly still on one leg, which only teaches your body how to balance when your center of gravity is completely quiet. But real-world accidents never occur when you are standing completely still. Accidents occur when you are turning around quickly to answer the doorbell, or shifting your entire weight sideways to catch a falling coffee mug. If your hips are weak, they cannot generate the rapid lateral force required to pull your pelvis back to center during those dynamic real-world transitions. This specific structural failure is exactly why so many active seniors experience severe hip injuries from what seemed like a minor, low-speed trip in the garden. They did not fall because their feet failed them. They fell because their rusted pelvic shock absorbers could not handle the sudden lateral shift. The good news is that you do not need an expensive gym membership or heavy weight machines to completely overhaul this internal braking system. You do not need to push your joints through painful, high-impact standing squats that leave your lower back throbbing for days afterward. Instead, you can completely rebuild the communication lines between your brain and your deep glutes using a highly isolated, zero-impact movement performed before you even sit up in the morning. By stripping away the dangerous variable of gravity, we can force these specific stabilizing tissues to fire with maximum intensity while your spine remains completely supported by your mattress. It is a mechanical shortcut that delivers total safety to the joints while packing dense, protective strength into the exact muscles that serve as your body's ultimate physical brake pad. Now that you understand the profound anatomical reality behind your pelvic stability, let us move directly into the precise, step-by-step instructions for executing this core movement with flawless form. You must realize that aging does not mean your muscles lose their ability to adapt. Your neuromuscular pathways are simply waiting for a direct, safe stimulus to wake them up. When you lie flat on your bed, your nervous system registers that there is zero threat of hitting the floor. Because the brain feels completely safe, it turns off the protective hypertension in your lower back and allows you to target the glutes with maximum efficiency. This is a level of deep muscular isolation you can never achieve while standing up. Standing forces your body to split its attention between staying upright and activating specific muscle groups. By removing the standing element entirely, you give your brain permission to focus 100% of its neural energy on rebuilding the weak connections in your pelvic floor. This is how we turn those rusted old vehicle shocks back into a pristine, highly responsive suspension system. Every single morning, before your feet touch the carpet, you have a golden window of opportunity to prime your body for the day's physical challenges. You are establishing a baseline of strength that protects your independence throughout the day. Now, let us look at the exact mechanics of this movement so you can start practicing it safely tomorrow morning. Let us begin the precise mechanical breakdown of this core movement. Slide your body flat onto your back right in the center of your mattress. Your head should rest level without an oversized pillow tilting your chin forward toward your chest. If you feel any immediate discomfort in your spine or neck before moving, adjust your position immediately. Now, carefully look at the surface beneath you. If you are sleeping on a heavily sagging mattress or a bed with completely broken inner springs, do not perform this routine here. A broken surface forces your pelvis to tilt unevenly, which completely defeats the purpose of the routine. You need a stable, standard king or queen size mattress that offers a uniform layer of structural resistance across your entire upper back and tailbone. Once your upper torso is flat, bend your knees comfortably. Place both feet flat on the sheet, matching the exact width of your hip joints. Keep your arms resting straight along your sides with your palms pressing directly into the mattress for light stability. Take a slow, deep breath in through your nose, expanding your diaphragm completely. As you exhale through your mouth, consciously pull your belly button downward toward the mattress to lock your lower back into a completely flat position. This is your safe starting alignment. Now, pressing firmly through both heels, contract your glutes and slowly lift your hips upward into the air. As you lift, your body must form a perfectly straight diagonal plank from your bent knees all the way down to your shoulders. Do not overarch your lower spine by pushing your abdomen too high toward the ceiling. Pushing too high pinches the lumbar discs and causes severe strain. Keep your movement controlled. Hold this bridge shape at the absolute top for 2 seconds while maintaining a strong squeeze in your glutes. Now, slowly lower your hips back down until your tailbone barely grazes the sheet. Do not drop your weight heavily onto the bed. Control the entire downward path. That slow descent is exactly what trains your muscles to absorb sudden impacts smoothly. Before we continue to the next repetition, I must insert a critical safety anchor. If at any moment as you lift your pelvis you feel a sharp, pinching sensation in your lower lumbar spine, your hip flexors, or your knees, stop immediately. Do not try to push through discomfort under any circumstances. Work strictly within a range of motion that feels safe, stable, and completely comfortable for your skeletal frame. If your lower back feels tired, simply reduce the height of your lift by 2 inches. A smaller, controlled movement that is completely pain-free is 100% more effective than forcing a high position that strains your joints. As you build consistent endurance over the next few weeks, you can slowly progress the structural challenge. To make your hip stabilizers work significantly harder without adding a single ounce of outside weight, simply cross your arms completely over your chest while performing the lift. Removing your hands from the mattress takes away your upper body support system. This structural change forces your deep pelvic floor and core muscles to fire with maximum intensity to keep your torso from wobbling sideways on the mattress. The entire exercise requires slow, deliberate execution. Do not rush through the movements to get them over with quickly. Moving too fast relies on basic physical momentum rather than pure muscular activation. Focus entirely on the sensation of your heels digging deep into the surface of your mattress with every single lift. This specific action is what signals your nervous system to wake up those dormant deep glute layers that serve as your body's ultimate physical braking system. Complete a sequence of 8 smooth repetitions in a row, moving up and down with total control. Once you finish the 8th repetition, lower your pelvis completely, stretch your legs out straight across the mattress, and let your body relax fully for 30 seconds before moving. Now that you have mastered the precise, step-by-step technical form of this vital movement, let us look at exactly how to integrate this practice into your daily retirement schedule without adding any mental stress or physical exhaustion to your morning routine. Now, here is the really good news regarding your daily schedule. You do not need to carve out a massive, exhausting block of time in your afternoon to completely overhaul your pelvic stability. You do not need to buy expensive athletic gear, drive out to a commercial fitness center, or drag yourself through a grueling 45-minute workout program that leaves your lower joints inflamed. Instead, we are going to utilize an incredibly efficient method known as distributed balance exercise snacks. This method relies entirely on short, isolated bursts of physical conditioning scattered naturally throughout your day, rather than forcing everything into one long session. By breaking the movement down into tiny, highly digestible units, we can completely strip away the psychological friction of working out while delivering a highly powerful, repetitive training signal directly to your central nervous system. The physical structure of this routine fits seamlessly into the standard daily patterns of an American retirement lifestyle. Think about the very first moments of your morning. Your alarm clock sounds on your nightstand, and your immediate instinct is to swing your legs out of bed. Stop right there. Before you reach your hand over to turn off that morning alarm, use that exact window of time to perform your first set. Lie flat, lift your pelvis, and complete just 4 controlled repetitions. It takes less than 1 single minute. By doing this, you are forcing those deep lateral hip stabilizers to fire and wake up before your feet ever touch a cold bedroom carpet. You are preparing your joints for structural movement before you even stand upright. Then, think about your mid-morning routine. Perhaps you are relaxing in the bedroom, waiting for the early broadcast of Good Morning America to flash onto your television screen. Instead of sitting completely stationary during those initial commercial segments, slide back onto your mattress and complete your second quick set. 2 minutes. Just 2 minutes of targeted activation is all it takes to keep the neuromuscular pathways open and highly responsive. You are transforming ordinary, wasted pockets of empty time into an invisible protective armor for your skeletal frame. There is absolutely no sweating involved, no rapid elevation of your heart rate, and zero physical exhaustion. It is a modern shortcut to structural safety. By spreading your practice across these tiny, isolated intervals, you allow your muscle fibers to recover completely between every single set you perform. This distributed approach is exceptionally effective for older adults because it prevents local muscle fatigue from setting in. Fatigue is a major contributor to injuries during standard fitness programs. When you force a senior body through a continuous, repetitive workout, the stabilizing muscles rapidly lose their precision, causing the surrounding joints to absorb the dangerous force of the movement. Shifting to an exercise snack model removes that variable completely. Your tissues remain fresh, your physical focus stays sharp, and every single repetition is executed with flawless mechanical form. You are simply giving your nervous system a gentle, consistent reminder to keep those deep glute layers active. Over time, these small doses of physical stimulation accumulate into massive, life-changing improvements in your lower body power. Your brain rebuilds the broken neural connections to your pelvis because it is being forced to access those pathways repeatedly throughout the day. It becomes an automatic habit. You will begin to notice that you are rising from deep chairs with significantly less effort, and your walking stride feels noticeably more secure as you move down the hallway. You do not have to disrupt your daily freedom to protect your mobility. You do not have to let a complex, intimidating fitness routine dictate how you spend your Hugh-tree years. By embracing the simple power of these distributed movements, you take complete control of your physical health right from your own mattress. Now that you understand how to easily optimize your daily schedule using this strategic method, let us transition directly into our final, crucial discussion regarding how this hidden strength protects your ultimate personal freedom. Ultimately, this daily practice is not about merely executing a sequence of physical movements on a mattress. It is about protecting your absolute personal freedom. In the United States, the concept of individual independence is a core value that defines how we choose to live our lives. When you step into your senior Hugh-tree years, that value becomes more vital than ever before. You have worked hard for decades to earn the right to manage your schedule completely on your own terms. You deserve to wake up in your own home, walk down your own hallway, and enjoy your morning routine without a constant cloud of anxiety hanging over your head. You do not want to be forced to surrender that autonomy. You do not want to watch your world shrink because of a single misstep on a slippery floor. The alternative to active prevention is a path that no independent adult wants to experience. A sudden collapse does not just cause immediate physical pain, it sets off a chain reaction that completely strips away your self-reliance. It means relying on paramedics to lift you off the floor. It means spending weeks in a cold, unfamiliar hospital ward undergoing invasive medical procedures. And worst of all, It frequently leads to a permanent relocation into a managed care facility or an institutional nursing home. Your daily schedule is suddenly dictated by staff members, and your ability to live freely in your own home is permanently lost. Your adult children are forced to upend their own lives, stepping away from their careers and families to handle your long-term medical care. You become the very thing you always promised yourself you would never be, a physical burden on the people you love most. Performing a brief, safe core routine before your feet touch the carpet each morning is your personal declaration of independence. You are actively deciding that you will not let physical decline dictate the terms of your senior years. You are choosing to maintain the dense pelvic strength required to navigate your everyday environment with complete confidence. You are ensuring that you can continue to stand tall, walk outside to check your own mailbox, and manage your household affairs completely by yourself. It is a tiny daily investment that yields the highest possible returns for your quality of life. It allows you to protect your personal dignity and keep your freedom firmly in your own hands. Now, as we conclude our deep dive into pelvic stability today, I must reveal an entirely separate structural weakness that is quietly working against your stability at this very moment. Many seniors spend months building strong hip joints and stabilizing their core muscles, yet they completely fail to realize that their foundation is still entirely vulnerable to an accidental trip. They focus so much attention on their upper leg tissues that they completely overlook the vital role of lower extremity mobility. If your lower limbs lack the flexibility to adapt to sudden changes in the walking surface, even the strongest Hong complex in the world cannot save your upper body from a violent slide toward the floor. Medical research from leading geriatric institutions has recently exposed a shocking statistic regarding lower body weakness. Older adults who suffer from severely decreased ankle mobility and poor lower extremity tracking are more than 5 times more likely to experience an injurious fall in any given year compared to those who maintain flexible, highly responsive joints. 5 times. Let that massive disparity sink in for a moment. That is not a minor statistical variation. That is an enormous structural hazard that is quietly doubling your chances of a major medical emergency every time you walk across a tiled room or step off a high sidewalk curb. When your lower leg joints lock up from lack of movement, your foot cannot rise high enough to clear basic household obstacles like thick carpet thresholds or extension cords. Your reaction time drops significantly, and your base of support narrows until a minor stumble instantly turns into a catastrophic accident. Do not allow this overlooked anatomical blind spot to wipe out all the physical progress you have made today. You must address your lower body mechanics with the exact same level of medical precision. To help you secure your mobility from the ground up, our clinical team has produced a comprehensive, step-by-step video guide specifically detailing the absolute best lower limb movements designed for seniors over 70. This entire routine is completely safe, requires zero specialized workout equipment, and can be easily performed while sitting comfortably in a supportive chair. That highly specialized video guide is appearing directly on your television screen right now. Click on it immediately next, and I will personally walk you through every single movement at a controlled, comfortable pace. Thank you for watching, and here is to living your life fully on your own terms.